Yep. So today we are going to start our 9.2, that is measuring enthalpy changes. So in our last lecture, we discussed about the enthalpy, what is enthalpy change, all these things we have discussed already. We have already discussed. So today we are going to we are going to discuss about how we can measure enthalpy changes. Okay. Now in topic 9.1, you look at a discussion between the chemical system and the surrounding. When you carry out experiments to determine enthalpy changes, the thermometer is part of surroundings and you will be measuring temperature change of the surrounding. So with the help of thermometer, what we did, we are measuring the temperature change of the surrounding. Now, Kelvin scale of temperature. Now we will discuss about the Kelvin scale of temperature. Kelvin scale of temperature is the most commonly used in science. It starts with absolute zero. Absolute zero, just underline it. The definition of absolute zero is 0 Kelvin. This is important. Absolute zero is 0 Kelvin. Okay.
Yeah.
Just a second. Okay. Absolute zero is 0 Kelvin, and it is equivalent to minus 273 degrees Celsius. So you know the relationship between Celsius and Kelvin.
Yeah.
Now suppose 100 degrees Celsius. 100 degrees Celsius is this. If you need to convert into Kelvin, you need to add 273. So add 272 degrees Celsius, you will get temperature in Kelvin. The Kelvin temperature, the Kelvin scale is a part of international system, that is SI units. On Kelvin scale, ice melts at 273, that is 0 degrees Celsius, and water boils at 373 Kelvin, that is 100 degrees Celsius. Okay. So
Yeah.
a 1 Kelvin rise in temperature is same as 1 degree rise in temperature in Celsius. So, okay, now if we say 1 degree rise in Kelvin or 1 degree rise in degree Celsius, both are same. Clear? If you
Yeah.
record temperature using a thermometer graduated in degree Celsius, the value of temperature change is exactly same in degree Celsius and Kelvin. So that change, that is the change in the value will remain constant, will be same in case of Kelvin and in case of degree Celsius. Now calculating an energy change. The energy change of the surrounding is calculated from three quantities. The first one is mass, then specific heat capacity, and then temperature change. I'm again repeating the energy
Yeah.
of the surrounding, the energy that is energy change around the surrounding, that is delta H or delta E, especially, I will say, of the surrounding is calculated from three quantities. The three quantities are mass, specific heat quantity, and temperature change. Okay. Now mass of the surrounding is denoted by small m. The mass is a measure of simply weighing it. We just weigh it, whatever we will get, the mass is there. So you have to identify the material that are changing temperature. And mass is usually measured in kg, in grams, to match the scale often used in the experiment. So mass is simply the weight of a particular object and unit is gram. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this specific heat is little bit important. Now see, specific heat represented by small c. Small c is the symbol of specific heat of the surrounding. Now different material require different quantity of energy to produce same change in temperature. Okay. The specific heat quantity C is the energy required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of substance by 1 Kelvin. Now suppose iron. If you have a suppose iron rod and iron rod temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. Now, if you need to increase the temperature of iron rod from 25 to 26, you need a specific amount of energy. Clear? That
Yeah.
energy is known as specific heat capacity. Clear? Now suppose
Yeah.
you have a block of iron of 1 gram with a certain temperature. Now, if you want to increase the 1 degree rise, or if you want to increase the temperature by 1 degree, you need certain amount of energy. That energy is known as specific heat capacity. Clear?
Yeah.
Every substance has a specific heat capacity. Good conductor of heat, such as metals, have same value of small value of C. Now, if something is very good conductor, it means it can allow the heat to pass through it. And if heat is passed through, it means the temperature will increase. Now, if a substance is a good conductor, their specific heat value, that is C value, is very, very small. Insulator of heat, such as foam, plastic, and sand, wood, etc., they have large value of C because they are not allowing, because they require more amount of energy to increase their temperature, to have a temperature change, to find out the temperature change, their specific, they require a very high amount of heat. In most of the experiment, you will measure temperature change of water or aqueous solution. For example, water specific heat is 4.18 joule per gram per Kelvin. Clear?
Yeah.
So this is the specific heat of water. You have to remember, specific heat of water is 4.18 joule per gram per Kelvin. It means that suppose if you have a 1 gram of water at 25 degrees Celsius, fine. If you have 1 gram of water at 25 degrees Celsius and you need to increase the temperature of water by 1 degree Celsius, or you need to take it to 26. So to make that 26, you need some energy. So how much amount of, or what will be the amount of energy you need to supply? That is 4.18 joule. Here,
Yeah.
so specific heat tells us about the energy required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of substance by 1 Kelvin. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the next part is temperature change. Now if you see, the temperature change is represented by delta T. Is determined from the thermometer reading, that is initial minus final reading, that is known as temperature change. Okay, now calculating energy change. The temperature change is clear. Temperature change
Yeah.
means suppose initially the reading is 26 degrees Celsius. If you heat it, it will become 42 degrees Celsius. So 42 minus 26 will be your answer, and that will be the temperature change. Okay. Now calculating energy change. We have studied that energy change depends upon three quantities. The first one is mass, second one is specific heat, and the other one is temperature change. So heat energy is given by symbol Q, that is a small q. Once you have a value of m, that is mass of a body, C means specific heat capacity in C, and delta T from the experiment, whatever the change in temperature is there for the particular object. It is very easy to calculate the energy in joules, and the formula is equal to Q is equal to mc delta T. So always remember, formula is equal to Q is equal to mc delta T, where m is mass of object or mass of the substance, C is specific heat, and delta T means change in temperature. Okay?
Yeah.
Clear? Any doubt in this?
Yeah. No.
Pakka?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, determining of an enthalpy change of combustion delta H C. Till now we have determined about the energy change. Energy change, how you can determine the energy change? We have a specific formula, Q is equal to mc delta T. Fine. Now suppose you have a copper block of 50 gram. Fine. Suppose you have a copper block of 50 grams and you heat it. Initially temperature is 25 degrees Celsius and you heat it to 70 degrees Celsius. So what amount of heat you need to make it from 25 to 70 degrees Celsius? You have to calculate Q by mc delta T. M means gram, that is 50 gram. Copper will have some specific amount of heat. So specific heat and delta T will be equal to 70 minus 50. Okay? Clear?
Yeah.
So in this way, you can calculate the exact amount of heat that is required to increase the 50 gram of copper from 25 degrees Celsius to 70 degrees Celsius. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, determination of enthalpy change of combustion, that is delta HC. That C is for combustion. Now, combustion is simply a reaction of substance with oxygen. Now, and this is one of the easiest enthalpy changes to determine experimentally. The equation for the combustion of methanol is shown below. Now, if you heat methanol in the presence of oxygen, so it will be CH3 plus O2 gives you CO2 and water. And if you balance this, so 1 mole of CH3OH, or you can say 1 mole of CH3OH will require 1.5 mole of oxygen and gives you 1 mole of CO2 and H2O. So this is going to be the reaction. Okay, clear? अच्छा ये बताओ आप लोगों ने ये स्कूल में एक्सपेरिमेंट किया है ये वाला स्प्लिट बर्नर्स वाला?
Yeah, we did.
You
With
did?
ethanol.
चलो मैं इसको अभी बताता हूँ आपको अच्छे से how you can do it. Now spirit lamper. Okay, spirit burner.
For the equation above,
हाँ जी.
I don't understand how. So I know that it's methanol with oxygen because it's a combustion reaction, and then it produces
Always remember that if
carbon
there is
dioxide
any
and water.
any hydrocarbon is there, like CH3OH or C2H5OH, it is going to give you CO2 and water when it reacts with oxygen. Always remember that.
Yeah, but then I don't know
how to balance it.
1.5.
This 1.5 is balanced one, na? Actually, it should be.
I don't know how you
it should be
balance it.
2. It should be 2 CH3OH plus 3 and 2 CO2 plus 4 H2. It should be like that. Balancing वाला तो हम we did ना earlier. याद है balancing वाला part हमने किया था.
So there's
actual reaction is CH3. Just give me a second. I will open a PPT. Just give me a second.
Okay.
Visible? CH3OH plus O2 gives you CO2 plus H2O. This is your chemical reaction. Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Now balance this. 1 carbon. Hydrogen is 3 plus 1, 4. Oxygen is 3. Here you have 1 carbon. Oxygen is 3. Hydrogen is 2. Okay? Clear?
Yeah.
If you simply multiply this by 2, you will get 2 hydrogen and 2 is equal to 6. 2 into 4 होगा ना, sorry 4. So oxygen will become 4. Hydrogen is balanced. Okay.
Yeah.
Now here you have 3. So and carbon is balanced. So in order to make this is 1 and here it is 4. So 1, you need there 3. So how you can get 3?
Now you have 6.
3 by 2. 3 by 2. If I do it by 3 by 2, 3 by 2. So it means what? 3 by 2 into 2 is equal to 3.
So yes, 3 divided by 2.
Yeah, 3 divided by 2 is 1.5 only, na?
Yeah.
But we know that we can't leave it in fraction. So what we can do, we have to multiply this whole equation by 2. So it will become 2, 3, 2, and 4. Is that point clear, Manya?
Why do you times everything by 2?
Because 3 by 2, na, 3 by 2, you can't have something mole in fraction. So mole is that part that it can't be in fraction.
So I do 3 by 2 because there was 2 and okay.
You got it. Do I need to repeat it again?
Can you
See.
repeat it again?
Yes, see this. Okay. This is CH3OH, CO2 plus H2O. This is a reaction. 1 carbon, 1 carbon, carbon 1, carbon 1. Hydrogen is 3, 4, oxygen is 3. Hydrogen 2, oxygen 3. Up to this point, any doubt? Now
No.
I need to balance hydrogen multiplied by 2. It means I write 2 there. I write 2 there. Fine. As
Yeah.
I write 2 there, it will become 4 hydrogen, but 2 oxygen and 2. Now oxygen
There's
is
1
4.
oxygen and
Oxygen will
2.
become
Yeah.
4. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now here you have 1 oxygen and 2 oxygen, means 3 oxygen. Clear?
Yeah.
Now this 1 oxygen, it is there. So in order to make 1 plus X is equal to 4, you need 3 oxygen there. Yes or no?
Yeah. Yeah.
So and 2. So you have to choose this number X. X multiplied by 2 is equal to 3 आना चाहिए. You will get 3. Clear?
Yeah.
You have to choose a number X such that if you multiply it by 2, you will get 3. Fine?
Yeah.
Which is equal to 1.5.
Yeah.
Or 1.5 means 1 upon 1.2. 1 and 1.5. 1.5 means
Yeah.
1 and half.
Yeah.
Na?
Yeah.
Fine. Or I can write 3 by 2 also. 3 by 2 is also 1.5 only.
Yeah.
Yes? Huh?
Yeah.
So in place of X, I can write
1.5.
1.5, or I will simply write 3 by 2. Clear?
Okay.
But we know that we can't write fraction part, as a mole. So what I did, I multiply the whole equation by 2. If I multiply whole equation by 2, it will be twice CH3OH. It will be 3O2, twice CO2, and 4H2O. I hope, is that clear now?
Yeah.
But whenever we are talking about delta H combustion, we are talking about 1 mole of CH3OH, 1 mole of methanol. But here, as per the balancing, we got 2. So again, to make it 1, divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. So you will end up getting CH3OH plus 1.5 O2 gives you CO2 plus twice H2O. So in this way, you got this reaction, that is half wala thing. But actually, it should be twice CH3OH plus thrice O2. Just in order to make it as a 1 mole only, we have to do this big thing. Is that clear now?
Yeah.
Sure. Back to your book. Hanji. Okay. Now, spirit burners, liquid fuels such as methanol can easily be burned using the small spirit burners. The experimental method and the calculation are outlined below. So, using a measuring cylinder, measure 150 centimeter cube of water. Pour water into beaker. So you take 150 centimeter of water and pour it into a beaker and record the initial temperature of water to the nearest 0.5 degrees Celsius. So just measure the initial temperature of water. Just dip the whole bulb in the water, and after some time you will see that the temperature is not going to rise. Now measure the temperature. Now add methanol to the spirit burner. weigh the spirit burner containing the methanol. Now add methanol to the spirit burner. Now this is your spirit burner. Suppose you add
Yeah.
15 ml of spirit burner into it. Okay? Weigh the spirit burner containing the methanol and weight it. And weight it. If you add 15 ml of spirit burner into it and then weight it, will suppose it is around 75 gram or 100 gram. Okay. Now place the spirit burner under the beaker as shown in figure 2. Now place it there. Light the burner and burn the methanol whistle stirring of the water with the thermometer. Now see this, what they are saying. Place the spirit burner under the beaker as shown in figure 2. Just इस beaker के नीचे you have to place that particular burner. Now light the burner. Now just switch it on or light the burner and burn the methanol whilst stirring the water with the thermometer. Now burn this water plus water plus methanol solution. Fine.
Yeah.
Stirring the water with the thermometer, and with the help of thermometer you can just stir the water. Now about 3 minutes, after about 3 minutes, extinguish the flame. Now stop this, extinguish it. Immediately record the maximum temperature reached by the water. Now then find out the temperature reached by the water. Now reweight the spirit lamp of the methanol. Assume that the wick has not been burnt. Again, weight the whole burner. You will find the difference in the weight. That some of the ethanol will be consumed now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now suppose the mass of the spirit lamp and the methanol before burning is 196.97 gram. The mass of spirit lamp and the methanol after burning is 195.37 gram. So it means if you subtract this from this, you will get the amount of fuel burnt, that is 1.6 gram. Clear?
Yeah. Just 1 sec. I need to get my charger for my laptop.
Yeah, take it. Okay, now mass of the fuel burnt 196.97 minus 195.35. It will be 1.60. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Then initial temperature of water. Suppose initially it was 21 degrees Celsius, and as you heat that particular water with methanol, the temperature will rise to 62.5 degrees Celsius. So 62 minus 21, 41 degrees Celsius will be the temperature change delta T. Clear? Now for water, density is 1 gram. Density is 1 gram per centimeter cube, and C, that is specific heat, is 4.18 joule per gram per Kelvin. Clear? Any doubt up to this point? No? Okay. Now calculate the energy change Q. You have to find out Q of water in kilojoule. Density is 1 gram per centimeter cube. So 150 centimeter of water has a mass of 150 gram. Is that point clear?
Yeah.
Density is equal to mass upon density is equal to mass upon volume. So density is 1, mass is 150, volume is 150 centimeter cube. So multiply it, so it will become 150 gram. Now Q is equal to MC delta T. That is the formula. Q is equal to heat, M is equal to mass, C is specific heat, and delta T is a change in temperature. Mass is given 150, C is 4.18, delta T we have calculated, that is 41.0. So just multiply all these things, you will get 25707 joule, and divide by 1000, you will get 25.707 kilojoule. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, now we have to find out, calculate the amount in mole of CH3OOH burnt. Now, what will be the amount of this methanol burnt? Now, number of moles is equal to given mass upon molecular mass. Given mass of fuel burnt is this one, 1.6 gram. If you see this much amount of fuel is burnt now, if you divide this mass by the molecular mass of methanol, you will get the number of moles of methanol burnt. So this is equal to 1.6 divided by 32, that is 0.05 mole. Okay, is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, ji. Now calculate delta H in kilojoule per mole. Now in kilojoule per mole, how you can calculate? Delta H combustion is the enthalpy change of a complete combustion of 1 mole of CH3OH. Now whenever 1 mole of CH3OH methanol is undergoing combustion, so whatever is the enthalpy change, they need to find out this thing. Now in this experiment, what we have observed that 0.05 mole of CH3OH transfers 25.707 kilojoule of energy to water. Is that point clear? That is what we have find out. We have find it out with the help of questions, with the help of some formulas. Okay?
Yeah.
So it means that in this experiment we find out that 0.05 mole of CH3OH transfers 25.707 kilojoule of energy to water. Now water gained 25.707 kilojoule of energy from the combustion of 0.05 mole of methanol. So just by combustion of 0.05 mole of methanol, you can gain 25,707 kilojoule of energy. So it means 1 mole of CH3OH has, अगर ये तो मेरी थी किसने की बात, 0.050 मोल में इतनी एनर्जी मिल जाती है. See, only 0.05 can give you 25,000 mole of energy. Now if 1 mole of CH3OH has lost, then 25.707 divided by 0.05 is equal to 514.14 kilojoule of energy on the combustion. That means on combustion, this much energy is consumed. So delta HC for CH3OH is minus 514 kilojoule per mole. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Got it? Any doubt in this?
No.
No. Okay, ji. Now in this calculation, rounding off was until the final answer. You can do rounding off whatever you want. Okay, it's not a big deal. Now, how to calculate the experiment delta HC value? Now, experimentally, how you can calculate? The data book for delta H of methanol is 0.726 kilojoule per mole. There is a one book in which each and every this C value is given. Okay. Now, this seems very difficult from the experiment value of minus 514 kilojoule per mole shown the above. So the value is in the book is given minus 726, and what we are calculating is minus 514. Fine.
Yeah.
Minus 514. So there's a huge gap between them, na? So data book values are obtained by using some sophisticated apparatus like the spirit burner and the beaker of the water. Clearly, much less heat is transferred to the water in our experiment than that of the possible reasons are listed below. So maybe because of lack of things, whatever we did is not that much 100% correct. So we did something wrong. Now, what we did wrong? Heat loss to the surrounding others than the water. This includes a beaker, not mainly the air surrounding the flame. Now, mainly what happens in that case, if you see, only heat is not there, air is there around it. So it may be the case because of that thing, there is that much, you can say, different result we are obtaining. So heat loss to the surrounding other than the water, this includes a beaker, but mainly the air surrounding the flame. Now, incomplete combustion of methanol, there may be an incomplete combustion of methanol with carbon monoxide being produced and carbon being produced instead of carbon dioxide. So you can have carbon as a black layer or the soot on the beaker. That may happen. Evaporation of methanol from the wick. There may be some evaporation of ethanol from the wick. Then again, the calculation part will be a little bit different. Otherwise, the methanol may have evaporated from the wick. A spirit burner usually have a cover to reduce this error. Now, spirit burner ke paas mein, whatever the spirit burner is, they have a cover to reduce this error. A non-standard condition. The data book value is a standard value. The conditions for which experiment is unlikely to be identical to standard conditions. So there are some specific conditions, standard conditions upon which that particular thing will be there. But all but the last of these reasons would be a different, would lead to a value of delta Hc is the less exothermic than expected. So this delta Hc is little bit less exothermic than we were expecting it. Clear?
Yeah.
Any change in this? Any doubt in this?
No.
Okay. Then we have determination survey change in reaction. Take a second. Okay. Do one thing, just quickly read it. Quickly go through the previous page. You have your book right now today?
Yeah, I have my book.
Yeah, please read it from the starting quickly. Okay, now we will discuss about एक second. ये होगा ना सारा हमारा. Now determination of enthalpy change of reaction, that is delta HR. Delta H are enthalpy change in a reaction. Now, whenever a reaction takes place between two solutions or in between a solid and a solution or anything, there will be enthalpy change, and that enthalpy change is known as enthalpy change of a reaction. The enthalpy change of a reaction can be determined by using plastic cups made up of polystyrene foam like this. And these are cheap, waterproof, and light in weight, and offer some insulation against heat loss to the surroundings. So whatever, if there is some heat loss, they also offer this thing, insulation. Okay. Now, when carrying out a reaction between aqueous solution, the solution itself is immediate surrounding. Means if suppose you are mixing two aqueous solutions, the solution itself is the immediate surrounding. Fine. The chemical particles within the solution may react when they collide. So whenever as they collide, they react with each other, and any energy transfer between the chemical particles and the water molecules in the solution, and any energy transfer is between the chemical particles and the water molecules in the solution. Okay, the thermometer in the solution will record any temperature change, allowing the heat energy change to be calculated using mc delta T. And the formula to get that particular change is again Q is equal to mc delta T, whatever the mass is there, specific heat of water, and change in temperature. Clear? This thermometer, it will record the temperature, and whatever the temperature change is there, multiplied by the mass and the specific heat, you will get your answer.
Yeah.
Okay, now we will see an example. Now, worked example, that is determination of delta HR, that is the delta H reaction for a solid and a solution. Now, suppose an excess of zinc powder is added to 50 centimeter cube of 1 mole decameter cube of copper sulfate. Now, this 1 mole decameter cube is the molarity is given, okay, for this particular copper sulfate. And sorry, an excess of zinc powder added to 50. This is the volume. This is the volume of particular of the CuSO4, that's copper sulfate, and this is the concentration of copper sulfate of that concentration. Clear? 1 mole per decimeter cube. This is the concentration of copper sulfate in water, and 50 ml of or 50 centimeter cube of that particular solution is available. Now the mixture is stirred until maximum temperature is obtained. We are just stirring it and we get a maximum temperature. Now what will be the reaction? Zn solid plus CuSO4, zinc being more reactive than copper will displace the copper from its sulfate.
Yeah.
Okay, and you will get copper solid and ZnSO4. Okay.
Yeah.
If you take the temperature, suppose initially temperature is 22.5 and final temperature we measure at 60 degrees, 60.5. So 60.5 minus 22.5 will be 38.0. That is the delta T. Okay, that is the delta T. Now again, Density of water is 1 kg per centimeter cube, and specific heat is 4.18 joule per gram per Kelvin. Now we are going to calculate about the Q is equal to mc delta T. Density is
Yeah.
1, and what amount of water is given? 50 centimeter cube. Fine. So 50 centimeter cube is the volume. So 50 centimeter cube multiply density is equal to mass by volume. Density is equal to mass by volume. Volume is given 50. 50 into 1 will become 50. So mass will become 50 gram. Clear?
Yeah.
Is that clear? Any doubt? Now 50.
No.
C value
no.
is 4.18 and delta T is 38. So if you multiply all these things, you will get 7942. That is 7.942 kilojoule. That much amount of energy is there required. Q is equal to the energy change Q is 7.942 kilojoule. Now calculate the amount of mole of copper sulfate reactant. Number of moles is equal to N is equal to C into V upon 100. So this is a specific formula. No need to bother about it. Fine. This is a separate formula. No need to bother. Now calculate delta HR in kilojoule. 1 mole, 1 mole, 1 mole, 1 mole. Now balancing the numbers given. So in experiment, you will get 0.05 mole of copper sulfate transfers 7.942 kilojoule of energy. So 1 mole of copper sulfate has lost. This divided by number of moles is equal to 159 kilojoule of energy to the solution. So it means that delta HR is going to be minus 159 kilojoule per mole. Is that point clear? Do I need to repeat it again, Manya?
No, that's fine.
Huh?
Yeah, I understand.
You understand it?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the formula N is equal to C V upon 1000. So you have to C is value, C is there, everything is there. You need to calculate N. Find concentration into volume. Number of moles is equal to concentration into volume. This is the formula. You need to remember. This is the important formula that earlier we have not discussed it, but you need to remember it. Okay. Okay. Now we will study about cooling curve. Now this experiment measures the enthalpy change of a reaction on the previous page, but the method has been adapted to correct the heat loss by using a cooling curve correction. Now in this case, whatever the heat loss is there, we are making or correcting it, this heat losses, by using a cooling curve correction. Now how we are doing this and what we are doing in this? This method can be used to correct for the heat loss in other similar enthalpy experiment. So main purpose, what is the purpose of cooling curve experiment? To correct the heat loss for the enthalpy experiment.
Yeah.
Clear?
Yeah. I had a question for the
I didn't get you what, beta?
a question for this graph.
Sorry,
So when we drew the graph, they said to like the red dot line, they said to extend it.
This one?
Yeah.
This one is the extended one, yes. And this is also the extended one. The
So
straight
I
line.
don't understand the reason for extending it.
I will tell. Don't worry. I will tell. This they have done in order to get a point on temperature scale, not to get a temperature point. This extrapolation is done in order to get a temperature point. Clear?
Oh, okay, yeah.
They extrapolate from this point and this point in order they will meet there, and this temperature they are calculating. That is why they have done extrapolation. Okay, method. Now we will discuss it method. Pipette of 25 centimeter cube, 25 centimeter cube volume of 1 mole decimeter cube of concentration into a polystyrene cup. Now, हमने क्या करना है? We took 25 ml with the help of a pipette and put it in the polystyrene cup. Now, wait out the excess zinc powder. Whatever the excess zinc powder is there, remove it. Wait out the excess zinc powder. Now, start a stop clock and take the temperature of the solution every 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds, we will take the temperature. It will be something like this. This graph is the temperature after time. So at every 30 seconds, suppose you are getting this temperature, then this temperature, this temperature, this is first, second. All these are the readings. This is the first reading, second, third, fourth, fifth. Then उसके बाद में temperature एकदम start हुआ. This is your seventh reading. Okay. So as time is passing, am I audible? Manya, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, see, this is the, एक second. I will delete it. Now see this. This is the temperature change after every 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds, we are marking the change in temperature. So for the first 2 seconds, or you can say first 2 minutes, not seconds, first 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, there is no change. The temperature will remain at 20 degrees something, 90 degrees Celsius only. Now, as the reaction starts, the temperature goes on increasing, and then at this point, it will decreasing. Now, from this point at which it is the highest one, and from which it is started, this point, if you correlate them, you will get a temperature that is 64 degrees Celsius. Is that point clear? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, ji. Now add zinc in the solution and measure the temperature in 30 seconds until the temperature has fallen for several minutes. Now from that point, temperature is falling down. Now plot a graph of temperature against the time. So time versus temperature, guys. We have made a graph. Okay.
Yeah, for this one, I remember we had to, I don't know what we did, but it was a bit different to this one.
Now you understand it or not?
Yeah, I do.
Is that clear? Do I need to tell you now anything?
No, I get it now. I get it now.
So whenever you are doing this, you will get something like this. First of all, it will remain constant, then it will increase, and then it will decrease like this. Fine.
Yeah.
Now, this temperature, they made a straight line there, like this, and then with that slope, they made a straight line with that slope.
Yeah.
And this point, you will get a point. At this point, they took the temperature scale. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Okay, let me delete all these things. Now plot the graph of the temperature. Now to correct for the cooling, extrapolate the cooling curve section of the graph back to the time when the zinc was added. Dekho, what they are saying, to correct the cooling, extrapolate the cooling curve section of the graph back to the time when the zinc was added. Now draw a vertical line from the time that the solution were mixed to the extrapolated cooling curve. And this is the back to the time when they are mixed together, and this is the after the reaction part. Here,
Yeah.
to draw a vertical line. So vertical line is drawn from this point and from this point.
Yeah.
Are mixed together, extrapolating cooling curve. Using the result shown in figure 4, delta H will come as minus 186 kilojoule per mole. Got it clear?
Yeah.
And this comprises with minus 159 kilojoule per mole for the method we do in the previous page. So previous page we got 159 kilojoule per mole, and here we get minus 186 kilojoule per mole. There's a little bit of difference here. Okay.
Yeah.
That graph is clear. Any doubt?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Now determination of enthalpy of neutralization. Whenever an acid and base react with each other, they form salt and water. That is known as enthalpy of neutralization. So how you are going to change measure the enthalpy of neutralization? Again, the procedure
The
is
only difference is two solutions.
Yes, what?
Okay. So instead of a solid and a solution, it's two
Mhm.
solutions.
If there are two solutions, the same
For
thing.
neutral.
Same.
No, for enthalpy change of, yeah.
The enthalpy change will be the same process. This as per the figure 4.2 of figure 4 now, same process you will get.
No,
Same
I'm
reaction.
saying about neutralization, the next one.
No. Neutralization means whenever an acid or base is reacted, not any two solutions. Okay?
Okay.
It means acid and base only, nothing two solutions. Any two solutions, no.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
now,
there's no solid.
no
It's
solid
just
is there.
acid and
Yes.
base.
A student measures out and mixes 35 centimeter cube, that is the volume of 2.4 mole per decimeter cube of NaOH. So this is the concentration of NaOH and this is the volume of NaOH. And 35 decimeter cube, this is again volume of 2.4 liter of HCl. This is again concentration. And the temperature rises 16.5 degrees Celsius. The specific heat of water is given 4.18 kilojoule per mole per Kelvin, kilojoule per Kelvin. The density of water is 1. Calculate the enthalpy change of neutralization in kilojoule mole inverse. So now you have to calculate change in enthalpy. Okay. Now
Yeah.
the total volume of the solution is, this is the 35.5, we have NaOH, and 35.0 is HCl. So both is 35, 70 centimeter cube is the volume. Fine.
So 35 plus 35, yeah.
70 only, na? Density of water is 1. So 70 centimeter
Yeah.
cube will be equal to 70 gram.
Yeah.
Clear?
Yeah.
70 gram. Now MC is equal to delta T. Mass is 70, C is 4.18, and temperature change is 16.5 degrees Celsius. You can see the temperature rises by 16.5. This is given as the temperature change.
Yeah.
Okay. Now multiply all these things, you will get 4.2879 kilojoule.
Yeah.
You will get answer as a 4.8279 kilojoule. Now calculate the amount of moles similarly as we did in the last one. N is equal to concentration into volume upon 1000. So concentration N is equal to this thing, number of moles, number of NaOH is equal to N NaCl plus C. Concentration is 2.4, volume is 35 divided by 1000 is equal to 0.084 moles. Fine. So
Yeah.
moles of NaOH and HCl are coming 0.084 moles. Now delta H neutralization, 1 mole will react with 1 mole and gives you 1 mole of NaCl and water. So 0.08 will react with 0.08 and give you 0.08 of water. So formation of 0.08 mole of water transfers 4.82 kilojoule of energy of the solution. Now it means formation of 1 mole of water loses this much amount minus divided by 0.08, that is 57.5 kilojoule of energy to the solution. So delta H neutralization will be equal to minus 57.5 kilojoule per mole. Is that point clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
So first of all, for number of moles, H2O transferred is this much kilojoule, and then formation of 1 mole of water loses this much amount, that is 57.5. Okay, clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Any doubt in this?
No.
Okay, Ji. So do one thing. We have 1, 2, and 3 questions. So when you are going to send me these questions quickly?